For 5 years, the Alpha King never touched her, until one night he finally begs to claim his wife. A Luna's Romance audiobooks, original story. Opening hello, my lovely listeners. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance audiobooks, where patience and longing sometimes create the most powerful love. Today's story is going to make your heart ache in the most delicious way. It's about a marriage of convenience that became 5 years of silence. It's about duty versus desire, distance versus desperate need. And it's about the night when walls finally crumble and hearts are laid bare. This is For 5 years, the Alpha King never touched her, until one night he finally begs to claim his wife. So settle in, maybe grab something cold because this one gets heated, and let me tell you about a king who built walls around his heart, and the queen who finally broke through them. Let's begin. Prologue. 5 years ago. The wedding was beautiful. That's what everyone said anyway. I stood at the altar in a dress of white silk and diamonds, watching my soon-to-be husband's face remain completely impassive as I walked toward him. King Damon Ashford, Alpha of the Northern Kingdom, the most powerful wolf in 5 territories, and completely, utterly indifferent to me. We'd met exactly 3 times before this moment. Once when our parents arranged the marriage alliance, once for the formal betrothal, and once for a brief, awkward dinner where he'd barely spoken 10 words. Now we were getting married. Not for love, not even for a tentative affection, for politics, for peace, for the alliance our kingdoms desperately needed. Do you, Celine Moreau, take Damon Ashford as your mate and husband? I looked at the man beside me, tall, powerfully built, with dark hair and eyes like burnished gold. Devastatingly handsome, in a cold, remote way, and completely closed off. I do, I said quietly. And do you, Damon Ashford, take Celine Moreau as your mate and wife? A pause, long enough that whispers started among the guests. Then, I do. His voice was deep and emotionless. The officiant pronounced us married. Damon turned to me, his expression unreadable. Custom dictated he should kiss me. Instead, he simply nodded once and turned away. No kiss, no smile, no warmth, just nothing. The reception was torture. We sat at the head table, not touching, barely speaking. Guests congratulated us, wished us happiness, made the usual jokes about wedding nights. Damon's jaw grew tighter with each comment. When we finally retired to the royal chambers, his chambers now, technically mine too, I didn't know what to expect. You'll stay in the room next door, Damon said without preamble. This connects through here. He showed me a door I hadn't noticed. Your things have been moved. You have your own space. Thank you. I didn't know what else to say. I'll need you to attend state functions with me, play the role of queen in public, but in private, his golden eyes met mine, and they were completely blank. In private, we don't need to pretend. Pretend what? That this is anything more than a political arrangement. He moved to the window, putting distance between us. I'll respect you, protect you, give you everything you need materially, but I can't give you. He stopped. Love? I finished quietly. Yes. I'm sorry if that's what you hoped for. But it's better you know now. This marriage is duty, nothing more. The words hurt more than they should. I barely knew him, had no right to expect affection from a stranger, but still. I understand, I said, proud that my voice didn't shake. Good. Then we have an understanding. He turned back to the window, dismissing me. Good night, Celine. I retreated to my room and cried silently into my pillow. This was my life now. Married to a king who looked at me with indifference, sharing quarters but never a bed, playing the perfect queen in public while being nothing in private. I told myself it would be fine, that I'd adjust, that maybe, eventually, he'd warm to me. I had no idea it would take 5 years, 5 long years of living beside a man who never touched me, who barely spoke to me beyond what politeness required, 5 years of loneliness in a marriage that should have been everything. Until one night, when everything finally changed. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you how we survived those 5 years first. Chapter 1, present day, 5 years later. Your Majesty, the council is ready for you. I looked up from the report I was reviewing to see my assistant, Clara, hovering in the doorway. Thank you. I'll be there shortly. She hesitated. The king is already there. He asked that you not keep them waiting. Of course he did. I rose, smoothing my deep blue gown, and made my way to the council chambers. 5 years had passed since our wedding. 5 years of this careful dance, appearing united in public while maintaining polite distance in private. I'd become good at it. The perfect queen. Gracious, elegant, untouchable, just like my husband. Damon stood as I entered, his golden eyes tracking my movement with that same unreadable expression he always wore. Queen Celine, thank you for joining us. So formal. Always so formal. Of course, I took my seat beside him. The council meeting was long and tedious, border disputes, trade negotiations, the usual political maneuvering. I participated when appropriate, offering insights on diplomatic relations and social programs. Over 5 years, I'd carved out my own role in the kingdom: education reform, healthcare access, support for struggling families. Damon listened to my suggestions with the same respectful attention he gave all council members, never dismissing me, but never showing any particular interest either. The Queen makes an excellent point, he said when I finished explaining a new initiative. Implement her recommendations. Yes, Your Majesty. After the meeting, we walked back to our quarters in silence. This was normal. We'd perfected the art of existing beside each other without really connecting. The harvest ball is next week, Damon said as we reached our doors. I trust you've prepared? Of course. The details are finalized. Good. A pause. You've done well with it. The ball has become quite anticipated under your planning. A compliment. Rare, but not unheard of. Thank you. Good night, Celine. Good night. We retreated to our separate rooms, just as we had every night for 5 years. I changed into my nightgown and sat by the window, looking out over the kingdom. 5 years. 5 years of being married, but not mated. Of sharing quarters, but never intimacy. Of polite respect, but no affection. I'd learned to live with it. To build a life around the emptiness where my husband's love should be. I had my work, my causes, the respect of the kingdom. It should be enough. So why did my chest ache every time Damon looked through me like I was furniture? A sound from his room made me turn. Through the connecting door, I could hear him moving around, getting ready for bed. So close. Just through one door. But he might as well be on the other side of the kingdom for all the distance between us. I turned back to the window and tried not to think about what it would be like if he actually wanted me. If those golden eyes ever looked at me with heat instead of indifference. If those hands ever touched me with desire instead of careful avoidance. If this marriage was real instead of just a political arrangement. But wanting things I couldn't have was pointless. I'd learned that lesson well over the past 5 years. The harvest ball arrived in a flurry of preparation. I spent days ensuring every detail was perfect. Decorations, music, menu, guest list. The ball was one of the kingdom's most important social events, and as queen, it reflected on me. You look beautiful, Clara said as she helped me into my gown, deep emerald silk that complemented my dark hair and fair skin. Thank you. I studied my reflection. The woman looking back was elegant, composed, every inch a queen, but her eyes were sad. A knock at my door announced Damon's arrival. Are you ready? He asked, his gaze sweeping over me. For a moment, just a moment, something flickered in his golden eyes. Heat. Appreciation. Then it was gone, shuttered behind his usual cool mask. I'm ready. He offered his arm, and I took it. This, at least, was something. In public, we maintained the appearance of a devoted royal couple. He was attentive, protective, every inch the devoted husband. It was only in private that the illusion shattered. The ballroom was magnificent. Hundreds of candles cast warm light over silk and flowers. The kingdom's nobility mingled, resplendent in their finest. As we entered, announced by the herald, the room fell silent. Their Majesties, King Damon and Queen Selene Ashford. Applause erupted. Damon led me to the center of the room for the opening dance, another requirement of our public facade. His hand settled on my waist, warm through the silk. His other hand took mine. We'd done this dozens of times, dancing together without actually being close. The music began. We moved in perfect synchronization, practiced and polished. "You've outdone yourself," Damon said quietly. "The ball is exquisite." "I'm glad you approve." "I always approve of your work. You're an excellent queen." Professional praise, nothing personal. "Thank you." His hand tightened fractionally on my waist. "Selene." "Yes?" "Nothing. Never mind." The moment passed. We finished the dance in silence. Throughout the evening, I played my role perfectly. Gracious hostess, devoted wife, perfect queen. And Damon played his, attentive husband, powerful king, the picture of martial contentment. No one would guess that we were strangers sharing a throne. But late in the evening, I noticed something different. Damon's eyes kept finding me across the room, tracking my movements with an intensity I'd never seen before. When a visiting duke asked me to dance, Damon's jaw clenched. When the duke's hand settled too low on my back, Damon was there instantly. "Forgive me, Duke Castellan, but I must steal my wife for this dance." His voice was cordial, but there was steel underneath. The duke bowed and retreated. Damon pulled me into his arms, holding me closer than necessary. "Is everything all right?" I asked. "Fine." But his grip on my waist was almost possessive. "He was holding you inappropriately." "It was just a dance. You're my wife. No one touches you like that." My breath caught. In 5 years, he'd never shown any possessiveness, any claim on me beyond the political. What was different about tonight? "Damon, not here." His eyes met mine, and this time the heat didn't disappear. "Later. We'll talk later." My heart raced for the rest of the ball. Chapter 2. After the ball finally ended and the last guests departed, I returned to my chambers, my mind spinning. What had changed? Why had Damon looked at me like that? Like he actually saw me for the first time in 5 years? I changed into my nightgown, trying to calm my racing heart. A knock at the connecting door made me jump. "Selene? May I come in?" Damon. At my door. Late at night. In 5 years, he'd never come to my room after we'd said goodnight. "Yes," I called, my voice steadier than I felt. He entered, still in his formal wear, though he'd removed his jacket and loosened his collar, and he looked different, agitated. The cool mask cracked. "We need to talk," he said. "All right." He paced to the window, then back, running a hand through his dark hair in a gesture I'd never seen from him. Damon was always controlled, always composed. This man looked like he was barely holding himself together. "I owe you an apology," he finally said. "For what?" "For tonight. For my behavior with Duke Castellan. I had no right to be jealous." "Jealous." The word escaped before I could stop it. "Yes." He laughed bitterly. "Ridiculous, isn't it? I've spent 5 years keeping you at arm's length, and suddenly I'm acting like a possessive fool because another man held you during a dance." My heart hammered. "Why did you keep me at arm's length?" "Because I'm a coward." He turned to face me, and for the first time, I saw emotion in those golden eyes. Raw, painful, real. Because 5 years ago, I was terrified. Of what? Of you. Of what you made me feel. He moved closer. "Selene, when we met for that first betrothal dinner, do you remember?" "Barely. You barely spoke to me." "Because I couldn't. Because the moment I saw you, I felt the mate bond snap into place. And it terrified me." I stared at him. "What?" "You're my fated mate. I knew it the instant I saw you. The goddess's choice. Perfect and inevitable and..." His voice cracked. And I convinced myself it was impossible, that it was just the pressure of the arranged marriage making me imagine things. You felt the bond? For 5 years you felt it, and you never— I was a coward, he repeated. My parents had a political marriage, loveless, cold. They barely tolerated each other. I watched them destroy each other with their distance and indifference, and I swore I'd never— He stopped. I thought if I didn't let myself love you, we couldn't end up like them. So you chose to make us like them anyway. The words came out harsher than I intended. You chose the cold distance you were trying to avoid. I know, I'm an idiot. He took another step closer, but tonight, watching you shine at that ball, seeing another man's hands on you, I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't keep pretending you don't affect me. How do I affect you? You consume me. His voice was raw. Every day for 5 years I've wanted to cross that distance between us, to hold you, kiss you, claim you as mine. But I was too afraid, too convinced I'd ruin everything if I let myself feel. Tears burned behind my eyes. Do you have any idea what these 5 years have been like for me? Being married to you but never having you? Wondering what I'd done wrong? Why you could barely stand to look at me? I looked at you every day. I couldn't stop looking at you, but I couldn't let you see that I was looking because then you'd know. He ran his hand through his hair again. God, I've handled this so badly. Yes, you have. Anger and hurt and hope all tangled together. 5 years, Damon. 5 years I've been alone in this marriage. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He was in front of me now, close enough to touch. But Celine, I can't do it anymore. Can't keep pretending. Can't keep this distance. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm done being a coward, done denying what we are. His hands framed my face, gentle despite the intensity in his eyes. I'm saying I love you. I've loved you since the moment we met, and I've been too stupid and scared to admit it. My breath caught. You love me? Desperately, completely, with everything I am. His forehead rested against mine. And I'm begging you, please give me another chance. Let me prove I can be the husband you deserve, the mate you should have had from the beginning. Damon, I know I don't deserve it. I know I've wasted 5 years we can never get back. But I'm begging you, Celine. Please, let me love you the way I should have from the start. Tears spilled down my cheeks. 5 years. 5 years of loneliness and longing and wondering if something was wrong with me. And now he was here, saying everything I'd dreamed of hearing. I don't know if I can trust this, I whispered. What if you pull away again? What if— I won't. I swear on my life, on my kingdom, on everything I am, I won't pull away again. I'm done with walls and distance. I want you, Celine. I want my wife, my mate, my queen. I've wanted that for 5 years. Then let me give it to you. Finally. Properly. His thumb brushed away my tears. Can I kiss you? Please? I've been dying to kiss you for 5 years. Looking into his golden eyes, seeing the vulnerability and need and love there, I made my choice. Yes. He kissed me like a drowning man finding air, desperate and fierce and achingly tender all at once. The mate bond that had been dormant for 5 years exploded to life between us. Golden and perfect and so right it stole my breath. When we finally pulled apart, we were both breathing hard. I love you, he said again. I'm going to say it every day until you believe it. I already believe it. I touched his face, marveling that I was finally allowed. I love you too. I have for years. Even when I was angry. Even when it hurt. I loved you. Then let me make up for lost time. He lifted me into his arms. Let me claim you. Properly. The way I should have on our wedding night. Damon, not if you're not ready. I'll wait another 5 years if that's what you need. But Celine— His eyes blazed gold. I want you, want to make you mine in every way. Want everyone to know you're claimed and cherished and loved. I should make him wait, should make him work for it after 5 years of distance. But I'd waited long enough. Then claim me, I whispered. Make me yours. Finally. His growl was pure possession. What followed was fierce and tender and perfect. 5 years of longing finally released, the mate bond completing with such intensity I saw stars. And when he finally marked me, his teeth sinking into my neck where everyone would see, I felt whole for the first time since our wedding. Mine, he growled against my skin. Yours, I gasped. Always yours. Afterward, we lay tangled together, the bond warm and perfect between us. I'm sorry, he murmured against my hair, for wasting 5 years, for being a coward, for everything. I'm sorry, too, for not pushing harder, for accepting the distance. Don't apologize. This was my fault, my fear. He pulled me closer, but I'm done being afraid. From now on, I'm going to love you so thoroughly that everyone knows you're mine. Possessive much? You have no idea. His eyes gleamed. 5 years of denying myself. I'm making up for lost time. Good. I kissed him softly, because I have 5 years of lonely nights to make up for, too. Then we better get started. He rolled us over, kissing me deeply. I love you, Celine. My wife, my mate, my everything. I love you, too. Finally. We spent the rest of the night making up for 5 years of distance, and it was perfect. Chapter 3. I woke wrapped in Damon's arms, his scent surrounding me, the mate mark on my neck still tingling. For a moment, I thought I'd dreamed it. Then Damon nuzzled my neck, pressing a kiss to his mark. Good morning, my love. His love. Not Queen Celine. Not formal distance. My love. Good morning, I said, my voice still rough from sleep. How do you feel? His hand traced patterns on my bare skin. Sore, happy, overwhelmed. I turned to face him. Did last night really happen? Every perfect moment. He kissed me softly. And it's going to keep happening. Every night from now on. What changed? I had to ask. What finally made you break? You did. Watching you at the ball, seeing how beautiful and brilliant and perfect you are. I couldn't deny it anymore. Couldn't keep lying to myself that I could survive without you. And you're sure? You won't regret this? Never. His golden eyes were fierce. The only thing I regret is wasting 5 years. But we have a lifetime ahead of us, Celine. And I'm going to spend every day showing you how much I love you. A knock at the door interrupted us. Your Majesties? Clara's voice. I have your morning schedules. Cancel them, Damon called out. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. Everything. Cancel everything for today. The Queen and I are indisposed. I could hear the smile in Clara's voice. Of course, Your Majesty. Should I have meals sent to your chambers? Please. After she left, I looked at Damon. You just canceled all our obligations. I did. We deserve one day, just us. No kingdom, no responsibilities. Just my wife and I finally acting like newlyweds. We've been married 5 years, and I'm making up for every single day. He pulled me close. Stay in bed with me. Let me worship you properly. Let me show you everything I've been too stupid to give you before. How could I say no to that? We spent the day in bed, talking and touching and learning each other. 5 years of distance melted away as we shared everything. Fears, dreams, hopes, regrets. Tell me about your childhood, I said, tracing patterns on his chest. Not very interesting. My parents were distant. I grew up watching their loveless marriage destroy them both. His arms tightened around me. I swore I'd never have that. But then you came along, and I was so terrified of repeating their mistakes that I created exactly what I feared. But we're fixing it now. We are. And I'm never letting you go again. He kissed the top of my head. What about you? Tell me everything. I want to know every detail I've missed, So I told him about my childhood in the Southern Kingdom, about my dreams of love and partnership, about the loneliness of our first 5 years together. I used to listen to you moving around in the next room, I admitted. So close, but unreachable. It hurt. I did the same. Wanted so badly to go to you. But I was too afraid. We wasted so much time. Then let's not waste any more. He rolled us over, settling between my thighs. Let me love you again. And again, until we've made up for every lonely night. I pulled him down for a kiss. I'm going to hold you to that promise. Please do. The next day we couldn't hide in our chambers anymore, but the difference was obvious to everyone. Damon's hand stayed at my waist as we walked to the council meeting. He pulled out my chair, smiled at me across the table. The council members exchanged knowing glances. Your Majesties seem well rested, one counselor observed delicately. Very, Damon said, not taking his eyes off me. After the meeting, we walked through the palace gardens. People are going to notice, I said. Good. Let them. I want everyone to know things have changed. Damon. He stopped, pulling me into his arms right there in the public garden. I've spent 5 years pretending you don't affect me. I'm done pretending. You're my mate, my wife, and I'm going to show it. What if people think? Let them think whatever they want. The only opinion that matters is yours. His eyes searched mine. Are you happy? Truly? Happier than I've been in years? Then that's all that matters. He kissed me thoroughly, not caring who saw. That evening, Damon surprised me. I have something for you. He led me to a part of the palace I'd never explored, a tower room with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the kingdom. I had this prepared while you were at your afternoon meetings. The room was filled with books, comfortable furniture, art supplies, everything I'd ever mentioned enjoying. My father gave my mother a room like this, Damon explained, her sanctuary, where she could escape when royal life became too much. I want you to have the same. Tears filled my eyes. You did this for me? I want you happy. Want you to have space that's just yours. He pulled me close. And I want to give you everything I should have given you years ago. You've already given me so much. Not enough. Never enough. He kissed me softly. I have 5 years to make up for. Remember? You don't have to buy me things. I know. But I want to. Want to spoil you. Cherish you. Show you in every way possible how much you mean to me. I kissed him, pouring my gratitude into it. Thank you. It's perfect. You're perfect. His hand settled on my waist. Now come. Dinner awaits. And I have more surprises planned. Chapter 4. Over the next weeks, our relationship transformed completely. Gone was the cold distance, the careful formality. In its place was warmth, affection, passion. Damon was insatiable for my company, my touch, my love. He could barely go hours without finding me, pulling me into alcoves for stolen kisses, holding my hand during meetings, sharing lingering looks across crowded rooms. You're being obvious, I said one afternoon after he'd kissed me thoroughly in the library. Good. His arms stayed around my waist. I want everyone to know you're loved, cherished, mine. The court is gossiping. Let them. After 5 years of speculation about our cold marriage, they can gossip about our passionate one instead. He had a point. The kingdom had noticed the change. Whispers followed us, pleased ones mostly. The court seemed happy to see their king and queen finally acting like a couple. It's about time, Alara, Damon's aunt, said during a private tea. I've been watching you two dance around each other for years. I'm glad you finally figured it out. You knew? I asked. Of course I knew. Damon's always been terrible at hiding his feelings. Well, from everyone except you, apparently. She smiled. But you're happy now. That's what matters. I was happy, deliriously so. But sometimes late at night doubt crept in. What if this was temporary? What if Damon's passion faded? What if we fell back into old patterns? One night, Damon noticed my distraction. "What's wrong?" He pulled me closer in bed. "Nothing. Celine, I can feel your anxiety through the bond." "Talk to me." I hesitated. "I'm just scared sometimes. That this won't last. That you'll pull away again." His arms tightened. "I won't. I swear it. How can you be sure?" "Because I know what life without you feels like now, and I'm never going back to that. Ever." He tilted my face up. "Do you trust me?" "I want to." "Then let me prove it. Every day, for the rest of our lives." He kissed me softly. "I love you, Celine. That's not going to change." "I love you too." "Then trust in that. Trust in us." I tried to let go of the fear and embrace what we were building. But 5 years of distance had left scars that didn't heal overnight. 3 months after that first night, I discovered I was pregnant. I stared at the healer's confirmation in shock. "Pregnant?" "About 6 weeks along. Congratulations, Your Majesty." A baby. Damon's baby. Joy and terror warred in my chest. How would he react? We'd only been truly together for 3 months. Was it too soon? That evening I found him in his study. "Can we talk?" "Always." He set aside his work immediately, pulling me into his lap. "What's wrong? You look pale." "I'm pregnant." He went very still. "What?" 6 weeks along. The healer confirmed it today." I searched his face anxiously. "I know it's fast. We've only been together." "We've been together 5 years," he interrupted. "We're just finally acting like it. And Celine," his eyes blazed gold, "a baby. Our baby. You're giving me a child. Are you happy?" "Happy." He laughed, the sound pure joy. "I'm ecstatic, terrified, overwhelmed, but mostly just..." He kissed me deeply. "So grateful, so in love with you." Relief flooded through me. I was worried you'd think it was too soon. "It's not too soon. It's perfect timing." His hand settled on my still flat stomach. "We're having a baby." "We are." "I'm going to be a father." Wonder filled his voice. "You're going to be a mother. Are you ready for that?" "Not even a little bit," he grinned. "But we'll figure it out together. Like everything else." That night he held me close, his hand protective over my stomach. "I'm going to be better than my father," he murmured. "Our child will grow up knowing they're loved, wanted, cherished. They will, because they have you as their father, and you as their mother. They're the luckiest child in the kingdom." I fell asleep, feeling safe and loved and hopeful. Chapter 5. The pregnancy announcement was met with kingdom-wide celebration. After 5 years of waiting, the kingdom finally had an heir on the way. "About time," the council said, beaming. Damon's protectiveness reached new heights. "You should rest more," he said constantly. "I'm pregnant, not fragile." "You're carrying my child. You're the most precious thing in the kingdom." He insisted I cut back my schedule. Hired additional staff to handle my duties. Hovered constantly. "Damon, I love you, but you're driving me crazy," I finally said. "I'm just trying to take care of you." "I know, but I need space to breathe." I took his hand. "I'm fine. The baby's fine. You don't need to wrap me in cotton." "I know. He ran his hand through his hair. "I'm terrified something will go wrong. That I'll lose you." "You won't lose me." "You don't know that. Childbirth can be dangerous." "Hey," I framed his face. "Look at me. I'm strong, healthy, and I have the best healers in the kingdom. We're going to be fine. Promise me." "I promise to do everything I can to stay safe. The rest is in the goddess's hands." He pulled me close, holding me like I might disappear. "I can't lose you, Celine. Not now. Not when I've finally got you." "You're not going to lose me. I'm not going anywhere." Over the following months, I watched him slowly relax. He still hovered, but less frantically, and he was so excited about the baby. "Have you thought about names?" he asked one evening, his hand on my growing belly. "A few. What about you?" "If it's a girl, Aurora, after my grandmother. She was the only family member who showed me real love." "Aurora is beautiful. And if it's a boy?" "I was thinking Alexander. Strong. Regal." He looked at me. "What do you think?" "I think they're perfect." At 7 months, we learned we were having twins. "Twins?" Damon stared at the healer in shock. 2 heartbeats. 2 babies. "Congratulations, Your Majesties." I laughed at his expression. "Surprise." 2. We're having 2 babies. Apparently twins run in my family. My mother was a twin. "Why didn't you mention this before?" "I didn't know it mattered." I was still laughing. That night, he lay with his hands on my belly, talking to our children. "Hello, both of you. I'm your papa, and I'm already so in love with you. Your mama is the strongest, bravest person I know. You're so lucky to have her." "Stop. You'll make me cry. Again." I wiped at my eyes. Hormones are making me emotional. "I love your emotions. I love everything about you." He kissed my belly gently. 2 babies. A boy and a girl, maybe. Or 2 boys? 2 girls? We'll find out soon enough. "I can't wait to meet them." His eyes met mine. "Thank you for giving me this, for forgiving me, for loving me despite my stupidity. Thank you for finally letting me in. Never shutting you out again. I promise." I went into labor 3 weeks early. We were in the gardens when the first contraction hit. "Damon," I grabbed his arm. He went pale. "Is it time?" "I think so." He swept me into his arms despite my protests, practically running to the medical wing. "Your Majesty, you can put me down." "Absolutely not. You're in labor. I'm carrying you." The labor was long, intense, 20 hours of pain that made me seriously question my life choices. But Damon was there the entire time, holding my hand, coaching me through breathing, refusing to leave even when the healers suggested it. "I'm not leaving her," he said firmly. "I'm staying right here." Finally, the head healer said it was time to push. 30 minutes later, our first baby was born. "It's a boy," the healer announced, placing the crying bundle on my chest. I looked down at my son, dark hair like his father, golden eyes, absolutely perfect. "He's beautiful," I sobbed. "Just like his mother," Damon said, tears streaming down his face. 10 minutes later, our daughter arrived. "And a girl. Congratulations, Your Majesties. You have twins." Damon cut both cords with shaking hands, then stood staring at our children with such wonder it made my heart ache. "We made them," he breathed. "We did. They're perfect. They are." Later, after the babies were cleaned and checked, we lay together, me in the bed, Damon beside me, our twins sleeping peacefully. "Alexander and Aurora," Damon said softly, looking at our children. "Our son and daughter. Perfect names for perfect babies." His hand found mine. "Thank you. For them. For everything. For not giving up on me. Thank you for finally letting me love you. I've loved you from the beginning. I was just too much of a coward to show it." He kissed me softly. "Never again. From now on, I'm going to make sure you never doubt how much I love you. I believe you. Good, because I'm spending the rest of our lives proving it." Chapter 6. 2 years later. "Mama, Alex took my toy." "Did not." "Did too." I looked up from the letter I was writing to see my 2-year-old twins arguing over a stuffed wolf. "Let's use our words," I said calmly. "Aurora, did you ask to share?" My daughter, already showing signs of her father's stubbornness, crossed her arms. "He doesn't share." "Did you ask nicely?" "No." "And Alexander, did you take without permission?" My son's golden eyes filled with tears. "I wanted to play." "I know, sweetheart. But we ask first. I knelt to their level. How about you both play together? Fine, Aurora grumbled. Crisis averted, I returned to my letter. 2 years since the twins were born. 2 years of chaos and joy and love. And Damon had been true to his word. Not once had he pulled away. Not once had he retreated behind walls. If anything, he was almost too attentive. You're spoiling them, I said one evening, as he built an elaborate tower with the twins. That's my right as their father. He grinned. Besides, they're perfect. How can I not spoil them? They're going to be terrors. They're going to be strong, confident, loved. His eyes met mine. Everything we didn't have growing up. He had a point. Our children would never doubt they were wanted, would never wonder if their parents loved them. That night, after the twins were in bed, Damon found me in my sanctuary, the tower room he'd given me. There you are. He pulled me into his arms. I've been looking for you. I needed some quiet time. The twins were particularly energetic today. They get that from you. They get everything from you, the stubbornness, the golden eyes, the intelligence and kindness are all you. He nuzzled my neck. How are you feeling? Tired, happy, grateful. Good, because I have something to tell you. His tone made me pull back. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. It's just... He took a breath. I've been thinking about those 5 years, the ones we wasted. My stomach dropped. Damon, and I realize we can never get them back. But I want to make new memories, better ones. He took my hand. I want to renew our vows. Do the wedding properly this time, with love instead of duty. Tears filled my eyes. You want to marry me again? I want to marry you right. Want to stand before the kingdom and declare my love. Want to give you the wedding you deserved the first time. His eyes were intense. Will you marry me, Celine? Again? Properly this time? Yes, I breathed. Yes, absolutely yes. He kissed me deeply, then pulled out a box. Inside was a ring, beautiful and intricate, nothing like the simple band from our first wedding. This was my grandmother's. The one who showed me love was possible. I want you to have it. Damon, it's beautiful. He slipped it onto my finger. So are you. And I'm going to spend every day proving I deserve you. You already prove it. Every single day. The second wedding was everything the first wasn't. Held in the palace gardens on a perfect spring day, intimate, just close family and friends, full of love instead of political calculation. I wore a dress I'd chosen myself, soft blue silk that flowed like water. Damon wore traditional formal wear, but his eyes never left me as I walked toward him. You're beautiful, he said as I reached him. You're biased. Absolutely, and I don't care. He took my hands. 7 years ago, we stood here and said vows we didn't mean. Today, I want to say them properly. The officiant smiled. King Damon, please share your vows. Damon's eyes held mine. Celine, 7 years ago I was a coward. I let fear control me. I pushed you away when I should have pulled you close. But you were patient, kind, forgiving. You gave me a second chance I didn't deserve. Today I vow to never waste another moment. To love you openly. To cherish you always. To be the husband you deserved from the beginning. Tears streamed down my face. Queen Celine, your vows? I took a shaky breath. Damon, for 5 years I thought I wasn't enough. That I'd done something wrong. That you'd never love me. But you taught me that sometimes love takes time. That healing requires patience. That we all deserve grace for our mistakes. Today, I vow to keep loving you. To keep choosing you. To keep building this beautiful life we've created together. Then by the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife. Again. The officiant beamed. You may kiss your bride. Damon pulled me into his arms and kissed me thoroughly, not caring that everyone was watching. Mine, he murmured against my lips. Yours, I agreed. Always yours. The celebration afterward was joyful and intimate. Our children ran around with their cousins. Friends toasted our love. Family embraced us. Finally, Alara said, hugging us both. 7 years and you finally figured it out properly. Better late than never, Damon said, grinning. That night, alone in our chambers, Damon held me close. Thank you, he said. For what? For marrying me. Again, for forgiving me. For loving me despite everything. Thank you for finally letting me in. Never shutting you out again. Ever. He kissed me deeply. I love you, Celine. More than I thought possible. I love you too. Even when you were being impossible. Especially when I was being impossible, he corrected. Because you saw through the walls. Saw me when I was trying to hide. I always saw you. I just had to wait for you to see me back. I see you now, and I'm never looking away. Chapter 7. 3 years later, 10 years of marriage, 5 years of true partnership. We'd built something beautiful. Our kingdom thrived under joint rule, Damon's strength balanced by my compassion. The twins were 5 now, showing early signs of their alpha heritage. And I was pregnant again. Another one? Damon's eyes went wide when I told him, apparently, due in 7 months. He swept me into his arms, spinning me around. Another baby. This is wonderful. You're not worried? We already have our hands full with the twins. We'll manage. We always do. Together. He settled his hands on my belly. Hello, little one. I'm your papa, and I already love you so much. The twins were fascinated by my growing belly. Is the baby growing in there? Aurora asked, pressing her ear to my stomach. Yes, sweetheart. When will they come out? In a few more months. That's forever, Alexander complained. It'll go faster than you think. But the pregnancy was harder this time. More exhaustion. More sickness. Damon worried constantly. You should rest more, he said for the 1000th time. I'm fine. You look tired. I'm growing a baby. I'm supposed to be tired. I kissed his worried face. Stop panicking. I'm fine. The baby's fine. Promise me you'll tell me if something feels wrong. I promise. At 8 months, I went into early labor. Damon was in a council meeting when it happened. I sent word, and he arrived within minutes, practically bursting through the door. I'm here. I'm here. He took my hand. How long have you been in labor? About an hour. It's progressing fast. Too fast. Is that normal? Third babies often come faster, the healer assured him. Everything is fine, Your Majesty. But Damon stayed anxious throughout, holding my hand, coaching me through contractions. 4 hours later, our son was born. Another boy, the healer announced, and he's perfect. I looked down at our newest addition. Lighter hair than the twins, but the same golden eyes. Hello, little one, I whispered. Damon was crying openly. 3 children. We have 3 perfect children. We do. Later, with our son sleeping peacefully, Damon held my hand. What should we name him? I was thinking, Orion, after the constellation. Orion Ashford. He tested the name. It's perfect. Just like him. Just like all our children. Just like their father. Their mother is the perfect one. He kissed me softly. Thank you. For this. For them. For everything. Thank you for being the husband and father I always dreamed of. I'm just sorry it took me so long to figure it out. We got there eventually. That's what matters. Chapter 8. 5 years later, 15 years of marriage, 10 years of true love. I stood in the palace gardens watching Damon play with our children, Aurora and Alexander, now 10, and Orion, 5. They were laughing, running around begging their father to shift so they could ride him. Please, Papa, please. Orion tugged on his hand. All right, Damon shifted into his massive wolf form, letting all 3 children clamber onto his back. He was so different from the cold, distant king I'd married 15 years ago. Now he was warm, open, loving. Everything I'd dreamed of and more. What are you thinking about? Alara appeared at my elbow. How far we've come. 15 years ago I married a stranger. Now I have everything I ever wanted. It's been beautiful to watch, the transformation in both of you. She smiled. Damon was so closed off before you. You brought him back to life. He did the same for me. That evening, after the children were in bed, Damon found me in my sanctuary. There you are. He pulled me into his arms. What's my beautiful wife doing? Thinking about us, about how lucky I am. I'm the lucky one. You put up with 5 years of my stupidity. And you've spent the last 10 making up for it. I'm still making up for it, every single day. He nuzzled my neck. And I'll keep making up for it for the rest of our lives. I think you've more than made amends. Never. There's no amount of love that could make up for those wasted years. His hands framed my face, but I'm going to try anyway. He kissed me deeply, and I melted into him. After all these years, he still made my heart race. I love you, I whispered against his lips. I love you too. More every day. He pulled back to look at me. Want to hear something? Always. I was going through old documents today, found our original marriage contract, the one our parents signed. And it was so cold, clinical, all about alliances and trade agreements. Nothing about love or partnership. His eyes were soft. Nothing like what we actually built. We built something better than they could have imagined. We did, and I'm so grateful. He pulled me closer. For you, for our children, for this life, for everything. Me too. We stood there in comfortable silence, wrapped in each other. 15 years, 5 years of distance, 10 years of love, and a lifetime ahead of us. Thank you, Damon said softly. For what? For not giving up on me. For waiting. For loving me even when I didn't deserve it. You always deserved it. You just needed time to see it. I see it now, and I'm never taking it for granted again. He kissed me again, and I felt the bond between us, stronger than ever, golden and perfect and unbreakable. We'd wasted 5 years, but we'd built something beautiful from the ashes of that distance. And I wouldn't change a single moment of our journey, because it led us here, together, finally, forever. Epilogue 20 years later. The anniversary ball celebrating 35 years of marriage was spectacular. Our children had grown. Aurora and Alexander were 25, both serving in the kingdom's leadership. Orion was 20, studying diplomacy. And we'd added 2 more to the family over the years, twin daughters born 5 years ago. Mama, the twins are fighting again, Aurora called. Why am I not surprised? I said to Damon. Because they take after their mother? He grinned. They take after their father. Stubborn as mountains, both of them. We separated the 10-year-old twins, Luna and Stella, who were arguing over a ribbon. Use your words, I said for the 1,000th time in my life as a mother. Damon pulled me close as we watched our children, all 5 of them, interact. Can you believe it's been 35 years? He asked. Feels like longer. Feels like yesterday. I leaned into him. I can barely remember that cold distance anymore. I remember it. I remember every day I wasted. His arms tightened. But I also remember every day since. And those have been the best days of my life. Mine too. The ball that evening was magnificent. Friends, family, kingdom members, all celebrating our marriage. Look at them, Alara said, gesturing to Damon and me. Still so in love, after all these years. Finally figured it out, I said. Better late than never. She smiled. You've built something beautiful. Both of you. As Damon and I danced the opening dance, I looked into his golden eyes and saw everything we'd overcome. 5 years of distance, 10 years of healing, 20 years of deep, abiding love. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "That I'd do it all again. Every difficult moment. Every lonely night. Because it led me to this. To you. To us. I love you, Celine. More than words can express. I love you too. Always have. Always will." He kissed me in front of the entire court, not caring who saw. After all these years, he still loved me desperately, and I loved him just as fiercely. For 5 years, the Alpha King never touched me. But when he finally did, when he finally let down his walls and claimed his wife, he never let go again. And that made every moment of waiting worth it. Closing, and there we have it, my lovely listeners. Celine and Damon's journey from cold distance to desperate, passionate love. Sometimes love takes time. Sometimes the mate bond doesn't click immediately. Sometimes we have to wait, be patient, hold on to hope, even when it seems impossible. Celine spent 5 years married to a man who wouldn't touch her. 5 years wondering what was wrong with her. 5 years of loneliness in a marriage that should have been everything. But she didn't give up. And when Damon finally broke, when he finally admitted his fear and opened his heart, she gave him a second chance. Because love is worth fighting for, worth waiting for, worth forgiving for. Their story reminds us that sometimes the best relationships are the ones that take work, that require patience, that demand vulnerability from both partners. Damon wasted 5 years hiding behind walls, but he spent the next 30 proving that love, when it finally breaks through, is worth every moment of waiting. If you loved Celine and Damon's story, please hit that like button and leave a comment. What was your favorite moment? The ball confrontation? The first night together? That beautiful epilogue with their 5 children? I want to hear from you. And here's a tantalizing preview of our next tale. Forced to marry the cold Duke, he never smiled until he saw me in my wedding dress. Oh yes, darlings. We're diving into another forced proximity romance with an ice-cold noble who's about to melt for his bride. Until then, this is Luna, reminding you that good things come to those who wait, and sometimes the best love stories are the ones that take time to unfold. Sweet dreams and patient loving, my loves.